All right, so I already got a response. So I covered in episode 2, I covered that I submitted my application to Virtual Staff Finder, which is Chris Ducker's company. And so this is episode 3. In this one, I'm covering the response, and I think there's some interesting lessons here. So this is the email that I received back from Virtual Staff Finder. So Richard got in touch with me, sent me an email at first saying, hey, we received your request, and we're going to be looking this over. It's going to take a little while, and gave me expectation that I would wait 7 to 14 days before I can start interviewing candidates, which is fine. I'd love to hire somebody tomorrow. I'd love to interview 3 people today, but I can wait. So then he sent this email back after reading through my application or my the information that I submitted. So first thing he says is, he said, we've reviewed your job description. Most of the tasks are fine. He said, it sounds like you're looking for a project manager who can work on admin and other organizational tasks and also hire and manage other VA roles. He says, we can definitely help you source this role. Of course they can. He said, we just want to set proper expectations. One, I love this email because I love setting expectations. I think it's great. This is really helpful. So he says, accounting-related tasks, because in my email I had said I'd like to hire somebody who has experience with QuickBooks or Xero or some sort of accounting software. He says most project managers usually don't handle accounting-related tasks, but if simple tasks only and training will be provided, this is fine. So I wrote back, I said, hey, that's fine. This is not a high priority. I would be happy to hire somebody who knows nothing about accounting, and I just wouldn't have them do that. But if they do happen to know it, that's great. So I just expressed that in my message back to him saying, hey, this is a plus if they have it. It's not a must-have. So, I can take it or leave it. But if they've got it, that's great. That's an added bonus. And I would still put that in the initial email because if there are a couple of candidates they're looking at and one happens to have the accounting software and that's the only differentiating factor, yeah, that's the person I would want to talk to rather than one of the other people. So I'm glad I still put that in, but I'm glad for this chance to express where that fits in terms of priorities. So then he says, working hours. I had put that in, I'm very flexible. And he said, well, piece of advice here, don't set up flexible working hours where it's just, hey, work whenever you want, whatever you want. He said, you should agree on certain working hours. And so I wrote back and I said, yeah, I understand. I don't want to just give them the freedom to work whenever, wherever, all that stuff necessarily. I think it's a good idea to have set working hours, especially early on. Now, maybe I'll relax that 6 months, 12 months down the road. I'll say, hey, I just, whenever you want to work, that's great. But maybe this person will want to have set working hours and they like to have those boundaries. That's fine too. I'm fine working either way with them. And really what I was trying to say here was that I'm fine if they want to start at 6 a.m. and be finished at 2 p.m., or if they want to start at 10 a.m. and be finished at 6 p.m., or work from 9 p.m. and be done at 5 a.m. I really don't care when they work so much because there are benefits to each way of working. For example, if I have them going through my email and deleting spam and all that stuff, that saves me at least a half hour a day if they go through and they delete everything and process my email and get it ready for me. But the only way somebody can do that is if they do that while I'm sleeping or they wake up at 4 a.m. or something and do it because I wake up at 4 a.m. So unless they're going to wake up super early, that's not going to work. Well, I don't want to necessarily go say, hey, I have to hire somebody who wakes up at 3 a.m. or something. But if they happen to have somebody that they bring my way and they say, hey, this guy wants to work nights or something for whatever reason, yeah, that's great. I'm flexible. I just wanted to let them know that. So we're clear on that point. And then he said, based on the tasks listed and the skills you require, we can source a competitive project manager between $650 to $800 US per month, which is great because I actually said I'd be willing to pay $500 to $1,000, and maybe they're just picking a number in the middle. But I also said, if you find somebody who's more, but this person's awesome, you can sell me on this. So they're not taking that bait. They're saying, hey, we can find somebody for $650 to $800. That's great. I love it. To me, that means that they're not just out to get as much out of me as they possibly can. They're saying, hey, you don't need to pay more than this. I feel like that's a sign of honesty with them. That's great. And then he said, training, please do not overwhelm your VA, especially at the start, and delegate tasks one at a time. We can source experienced project managers. However, it may take time to incorporate him or her into your workflow. So it's best to provide proper training and guidance, especially on internal company procedures and processes. So I just responded, understood. But to go into a little more depth on that, this is good advice for me because I've got 50 things that I want to pass off to this person. I've been planning on this for years. I've been looking forward to this day. It would be really easy for me to give that person 10 different tasks the first day and say, okay, I want you to do this and this and this and this and this. And to me, this is all easy stuff because this is stuff that I do day in and day out. But this person has never done this stuff before, perhaps. Or maybe they've done it, but not the way that I want them to do it. And so for me to give them 10 tasks, that's not like I'm passing it off to myself and saying, get this stuff done. That would be easy for me to do that because I know how to do it. But if I'm passing 10 new things to somebody, then I can see how that would be overwhelming. I can see how 3 things would be overwhelming. So I think this is great advice to pass off one thing at a time, wait till that person masters that, and then add one more thing, add another thing. Maybe I can add something every other day or every 3 days, and within 2 or 3 weeks I've got them up and running and they're really going fast and it's great. But I can understand that first few days, I definitely don't want to give them 10 things or something like that. So that's some feedback from Virtual Staff Finder. So far, I'm really happy with the service. I'm happy with the communication. I'm happy with the speed that things are happening. And I'm really looking forward to being able to do those interviews and hopefully find my first VA really soon. All right.